Guys, I've been thinking and I think I cracked it, okay? The Crown Tundra that's coming in November, I believe November, around the middle of November would be my guess, and likely a similar day to when the Isle of Armor was released, which was a Wednesday, so keep an eye on those dates, guys. I believe the Crown Tundra is actually the Gen 4 remake you guys have been waiting for, because let me get into it, guys. There's a lot of similarities between the Crown Tundra and the Gen 4, okay? I played Pokemon Platinum only recently for the very first time ever, and I never played Pokemon Diamond and I never played Pokemon Pearl. I just played Pokemon Platinum for the first time, and now with knowing going into that game, knowing everything that we know about the Crown Tundra, I can see so many similarities, and I'm going to go through them with you right now. So first of all, guys, I'm going to discuss what we saw in the old beta leaks, which only happened last month. These are the beta leaks for Diamond and Pearl, and the ton of stuff that was cut out of Diamond and Pearl was added in, I believe, in Gen 8, and not just the Crown Tundra, but stuff we actually got in Sword and Shield. Now let's have a look at what these leaks were, because a lot of these features did not make it in Gen 4, and this is what it is, guys. This is a brand new leak that came out last month. It was from the beta, and the beta, as you guys know, has a lot of juicy stuff in the early days. You guys probably know from Gen 2 beta, the demo that came out, it had a lot of stuff, different Pokemon that were scrapped, different designs. That's exactly the same situation for Diamond and Pearl leak right here, but we're going to look at the things that we got in Sword and Shield. So here we have the region concept. Every time the player links their game to the internet for online playing, our server will update the Pokemon distribution in map according to the region information from his IP address. So my feeling here is similar to what they have on the Nintendo Switch right now, for based on where you are in the world or whatever region your Switch is set to, you're going to get different Pokemon. For example, me here in Japan, I get the East Sea, was it Gastrodon? You guys over in America or maybe in Europe, you're going to get the West Sea Gastrodon, okay? And they are different depending on where in the world we are playing this game on our Switch, or if you know how to mess around with the settings, depending on your settings, okay? Because as you guys know, we can manipulate everything with the settings in the Switch, date and time, weather, location, okay? All that stuff. So this is the region concept I believe that they intended for Gen 4, which was actually implemented in Gen 8. Here we have it in Pokemon Sword and Shield right now. They add weather concept into the game according to the region information as well, guys. Same thing. We have the weather changing in the wild area, and you know, you can manipulate that. You can change the date and time, not region in this case, but date and time, okay? And that changes the weather. So that's very interesting. Now this was of course scrapped. They did not add a weather concept based on region, because I think that wouldn't work very well, while some people in certain locations in the world are always going to have certain types of weather and miss out on other types of weather. Instead, they went for a date-by-date situation where the weather changes and at different times and in different locations on the actual map in the wild area as well, but that was very much incorporated in Gen 8. The Pokemon distribution settings will take effect in offline status and will be updated only when next time's login. Okay, so this, I believe, is what the wild area news update is in the mystery area in the menu in Gen 8 in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Whenever a promoted den is updated, guys, you have to update your wild area news in order for the dens themselves to update, and that changes the Pokemon distribution in those dens. This seems to be a very, very similar situation, very similar concept to what they just explained right there that was scrapped from Gen 4. So what do you think, guys? That's the first page. It looks like we got all of those things implemented in some form in Gen 8. Next we have the online features. So the region concept is the bulk of what we just read over there a second ago. A new hatch system. A new hatch system was in fact implemented in Generation 8, which changed a few things for a lot of people who were used to hatching before. So as people explain, guys, in a lot of articles and videos, with every title, its post-breeding gets a little bit easier, okay? A little bit easier. And in Sword and Shield, they just busted it wide open. You even get special items, like little metal things that increase the speed of eggs spawning and eggs hatching, and you can have, like, you know, all these different things. Also, as for the shinies in eggs, you used to be able to manipulate that, and you can no longer do that, because once an egg is spawned, guys, that is either going to be, that's already determined, okay? It's already determined finale. You cannot change it, you cannot manipulate it, you cannot reset your game to try and rehatch it to get a shiny. Whatever's in that egg is in that egg. It's very similar to Pokemon Go. So the new hatch system, whatever they were thinking there, was implemented in Generation 8 at long last. Enhanced Pokemon Centers. Now this is an interesting concept, guys. It sounds like for the Enhanced Pokemon Centers, they wanted to do a few different systems. They wanted to implement things a little differently, including having differences for online and offline in Poke Centers, okay? But what they did in Generation 8 was they scrapped Poke Centers entirely. They just gave you the equipment in your inventory to allow you to get Pokemon out directly from your inventory after Sonya gives you the equipment at the very beginning of the game. You know, you just have that power. You don't have to go to a Poke Center anymore. And that you could do everything online. You could do trades, you could store Pokemon, withdraw Pokemon, all that stuff. The only thing you couldn't really do was heal them up. But that seems to me to be the substitute for an enhanced Pokemon Center. Online tournament mode with PC screen based on Coliseum. Okay, we do not have PC screen stuff based on a Coliseum code. We don't have that, but we do very much have an online tournament mode. As you guys know, they're dishing out tournaments every month, 1 or 2 at least, and you always have the ranked battles and tournaments you can just join, and you can always create your own tournaments too. So we absolutely have the online tournament mode in Sword and Shield. But I really don't think that's anything particularly special, because they've had tournaments to some capacity for a long time. They just made it easier than ever to have tournaments and get involved in tournaments in Sword and Shield. So I'm not really sure here what Pokemon Capture and Treasure Hunt is. I didn't play Pokemon Platinum like 100%, but I did beat the game and did try out a lot of the features, including the underground stuff. So if by Treasure Hunt they're talking about the underground stuff, I'll talk about that in a minute. Now here's the enhanced Pokemon Center details, okay? In offline mode, player can only access 30 Pokemon from 1F's first floor's computer in Poke Center. When online, add one option in menu to let player can access additional captured Pokemon in server database. Now guess what this all became, guys? Pokemon Home. Yeah, we have a certain number of boxes in our game in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but we have we've got 2,000 boxes in Pokemon Home. Pokemon Home was separated, and yeah, you have to be online, you have to be able to use that, you have to have the whole subscription stuff, so this is a very different way to do this. But obviously they were playing around with the concept of limiting how many Pokemon you can access unless you're online, so I guess they wanted to force players to move online, as a lot of games did and a lot of platforms did, as early as back as Gen 4, which is wild to think about, guys. But anyway, they changed it. They brought in Pokemon Home instead, where you can access infinitely more Pokemon than the game itself. Now I know a lot of you guys have probably maxed out your box capacity in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I know I have twice. Many of you guys have as well, and that's why you guys needed Pokemon Home. Most people probably have Pokemon Home, at least the free version, or if not the main version too. With the main version, you guys know you do not have that problem anymore, just like what that concept right here on the screen is. It's exactly the same concept. Okay guys, it's time to talk a little bit about the underground. As you guys know, in the Gen 4 games, you had an underground area, which was a maze where you could go around treasure hunting and doing all sorts of things, which was pretty cool. You'd also get an Explorer Kit. That's this puppy right here. Somewhere in the middle of the game or whatever, you'd get an Explorer Kit that allowed you to drop down into these areas in the underground section. Now the underground section was an online facility where you would play with other players. You'd be able to see and meet other players down there. Very cool. Now what the multiplayer allowed you to do was be able to enter into other people's secret bases, and secret bases was a concept introduced I think in Emerald, where you'd be able to create your own sort of home in a sense. And this was here where you could invite other players through the multiplayer in the underground section to your secret base and vice versa. Very cool concept. Now, I'm curious if this is a feature that's going to come back in the Crown Tundra, because as of yet, we do not have a home to call our own that we can design and decorate. Not yet. There's also a mining feature which got you a few useful items here. Now I would not be surprised if something that similar came back in the Crown Tundra. Now, just briefly explaining all that, let me explain why I think these things could be coming back in the Crown Tundra next. So if you guys have been following all the Crown Tundra trailers, you would have known that this guy makes an appearance and he gives you, guess what? An Explorer's Kit for going underground. Yes! It is going to be cooperative gameplay just like this. In exploring the underground section, you are going to have to team up into teams of 4 in order to take on a challenge of some sort underground that involves also beating Pokemon to get to special legendaries. I think this is going to be a very cool feature, definitely playing on the whole Gen 4 release. Here we have a lot of those legendaries you're going to see, and there is another coincidence to keep in mind here. A lot of the legendaries you're seeing here are the same legendaries in Pokemon Platinum. So here we get a little image of the equipment that we're going to be handed by that guy who a lot of people think is Mr. Rose's cousin or brother or something, because he looks very like him. And this is just an image of the whole underground concept that we're getting. Absolutely straight out of Pokemon Gen 4. Now, as many of you, just like me, are really excited, we're also getting Galarian forms of the 3 birds. That is something to point out, guys. We also get the 3 original Gen 1 birds in Pokemon Platinum Gen 4. Many of you guys also noticed that we're getting new Regis, Galarian Regis in the game as well. As many of you guys might already know, the Regis also are present in Pokemon Platinum as well. So guys, here's a little list of the legendaries in Pokemon Platinum, okay? And as it turns out, despite what the Galarian forms were just showing there, we are actually as well getting the originals of all of these that I just highlighted. They are all coming back to the Crown Tundra as well, guys. All of these. This right here is the Crown Tundra Pokédex. Let me get rid of the camera for you guys so you can see what is coming back. Here we have the Regis right here, the original ones. Here we have the Lake Guardians as well, guys. They're also coming back. Here we have the Diamond and Pearl Pokemon coming back. Heatran, Regigigas, they're coming back. Cresselia coming back as well. Here we have the Gen 1 legendary birds as well. And here we have that list of Pokemon that are coming back in the Crown Tundra. Now, I don't think there's any coincidence to the massive amount of similarities we just covered between, well, Gen 8 in general, but also the Crown Tundra and Gen 4. I think Crown Tundra and Gen 4 to a certain degree is a light version of your Gen 4 remakes, guys. So I'm not sure if we're going to be getting full Gen 4 remakes, considering the similarities and the same features that are coming from this. Something we should also pay attention to now. Now, aside from that dex being leaked, that doesn't mean that is every Pokemon included in the dex. As you guys know, Pokemon from the main game, the whole Pokedex for that was leaked before. That's this dex right here, guys. Now, there's tons of Pokemon in the actual main game that were not included on this dex. So I think it's well worth waiting and seeing what gets added afterwards. I still don't think it's unrealistic to expect Manaphy, Darkrai, Shaman, and Arceus to make a comeback, guys, in the Crown Tundra. Just gonna have to wait and see. We have seen some evidence pointing towards some of these before, a little bit, albeit not conclusive, so we're just gonna have to wait and see on that one. Just a little side note as well, in Gen 4 we do have a city with a church. It might not have story implications, but it might. I don't know. It's not a big thing to go on. It's just a little funny thing to add in there, which just happens to be a coincidence. Well, that's it, folks. That is my theory loud just on this whole Crown Tundra overlapping with Gen 4. Gen 4 Remake Lite? Question mark? It's possible. What the hell do you think, guys? I'm really curious to see what you make of all of these comparisons we just made on this video. I think there's a lot. I think a lot of this is no coincidence as well, especially including the scrapped concepts that have already been implemented into Sword and Shield. I think it's a huge indicator to a lot of the overlaps for Gen 4 stuff coming back in the Crown Tundra, as well as the Pokemon too, like Arceus maybe. I cannot wait to find out, guys. There's not long to go. If you are excited as I am, drop a sub right here and you're going to be first, front row and center for all the news that we get on this stuff, because you know I'm always on top of this stuff. I have been since 10 months ago, guys. I've been on top. Even longer, I've been on top of all of this stuff, and I'm going to continue to do so. You guys are in the right place. Hopefully I'll see you around for the next video, guys. Thanks for watching this one. I'll see you around till the next one. Bye.